Hello, everybody. How are you? I hope everybody's doing okay. I hope you all had a good weekend. All right, so it's time for another English class. I hope you've all been studying. Okay. So today we're going to be doing a little bit of grammar. All right. So first, what we're going to do is go to our pupils' books, and we're going to go to page 63. Okay, which is this page here, grammar 2, present perfect and past simple. Okay, good. All right, so what we'll do first, okay, is we'll have a look at this little box. Now, we have studied present perfect and past simple. Okay, so you should know how to make both forms grammatically. All right, if not, just have a look at some of these examples just to jog your memory. All right. Now, the confusing thing is when to use present perfect and when to use past simple. And can we use them both together? Well, the answer is we can. Okay, and we do use them for slightly different situations. Okay, um, let's have a look at the grammar box here. Okay, so we've got two sentences here. Let's read them out. The first one says, I didn't realize until I got back home. Okay, and the second one says, I've just given the cat some food. So if you didn't realize, okay, the first sentence is in past simple, all right, and you didn't, I got. And then the second sentence is in present perfect, I have just given, okay? So which sentence tells us about a past action that is linked to the present? Okay, that would be the second sentence using present perfect, all right, because the person gave the cat some food in the past, but now the cat has the food right now. Okay, so it's relevant in the present. And then the first sentence tells us about a completed action in the past. I didn't realize until I got back home. Okay, this is all something that happened in the past. Okay, and it's all finished now. All right, so that's one of the main differences. Okay, let's have a look here. All right, so just a reminder, we use present perfect to talk about an action which happened in the past and is linked to the present. Okay, for example, Katie has put her clothes in the suitcase. All right, so that means her clothes are in the suitcase right now, but she didn't give any details. She didn't say the time, okay, or any other details. And then we use past simple to talk about a finished action. Katie put her clothes in her suitcase last night. Okay, and there we have details, right? She says last night. We use present perfect to report information on news. I've bought some new shoes, for example. All right, again, just the action that's important, right? Not the details. And then we use past simple to give the details. I bought some shoes at the new department store last Saturday. Okay, so before we continue with the exercises, let's open our notebooks. Okay, let's open our notebooks. All right, and I'll give you some more explanations. Now, the title today is present perfect / past simple. Okay, present perfect / past simple, and the date is Monday the 30th of March. All right, so you can copy this into your notebooks. Okay, but let's have a look at some of the examples. All right, so just reiterating what we read in the book. All right, we use present perfect to talk about recent actions that are relevant to the present. Okay, and I've given you a couple of examples. All right, if I say I have cooked the dinner, right, that means dinner is ready now. Right, I've cooked the dinner, so it's relevant in the present. John has gone to Barcelona. Right, that means he's in Barcelona right now. Right, John has gone to Barcelona. So here I'm using present perfect and I'm just reporting an action. Okay, no details. Okay, just a recent action, something that happened recently, but in the past. We use past simple to talk about finished actions in the past and give details, like when or where. All right, so here are some examples of how we use past simple. All right, I saw John last week in the park. Okay, so that's an action which was last week, so it's not recent. It's finished. Okay, the story's finished. Everything's done. I saw John last week. Okay, I say when in the park and where, okay? And our second one is Jane bought a new car last week. Okay, again, an action that's finished, all right? And we give details, like last week. All right, so easy. Now, how do we use them both together? All right, well, normally when we talk and we have conversations in English, the typical way we would use it would be as follows, okay? And then you can copy this in your notebook. All right, so in conversation, we usually give news using the present perfect and then give the details using past simple, okay? So you see your friend, you tell them the news using present perfect, and then you tell them the details in past simple, all right? Look at the example, all right? So I see my friend and I say, hey, I've seen the new Avengers movie, right? I'm just telling him, right, the news, just I've seen the movie. Don't say when, don't say any details, right? Just pure news. And then I continue using past simple. It was amazing. I saw it yesterday at the cinema with my brother. Okay, so here I'm using past simple to explain the details, all right? So that's the typical way we would use it, all right? You give the main news using present perfect and then explain the details using past simple, okay? Later on in the class, you can try your own kind of example of this, all right? But make sure you copy all this down in your notebook, okay? Highlighting the relevant words. Okay, so if you look here, I've put all the present perfect phrases in red and all the past simple ones in green. Okay, but you can copy it in your book in a way that you can understand. All right. Okay, all finished? Excellent. Let's have a look at some exercises. Okay. Now, don't worry if it's a little bit difficult. Differentiating between the present perfect and the past simple is not the easiest thing, okay? It does take a bit of practice. But once you get the hang of it, all right, it will be very easy. It will be like second nature. So let's go back to our pupils book, okay? So back to page 63. All right. And we'll do this exercise all together, okay? So we just need to circle the correct form. Is it present perfect or is it past simple? All right. Now we'll do this together and we will analyze, okay, if which one we need to use. So let's have a go. Okay, so let's think, is it just giving news? Is it giving details? All right, is it something that happened recently and is relevant to the present? Is it a finished action? Okay, let's have a look. Let's look at the first sentence, okay? It says, you don't need to buy anything for the barbecue. I've done or I did all the shopping already, okay? So what do we use, present perfect or past simple? Well, it doesn't really give any details. It's just reporting the main action. And is it relevant to the present? Yes, because they have all the things for the barbecue, so now they don't need to buy anything. All right, so we use present perfect. All right, so it should be I've done all the shopping already. Let's look at the second one. All right, it says, I'm sorry, we don't have that necklace anymore. Necklace is a bit of jewelry to wear around your neck. A customer has bought or a customer bought the last one this morning. Okay, so which one do we use here? Present perfect or past simple? Well, there's one easy way to find out. If you look here, it says this morning. All right, so this morning is details, right? It's saying when it happened. All right, so the answer should be past simple. All right, a customer bought the last one this morning. Let's try the next one. Oh no, I've lost or I lost my credit card. I can't find it anywhere. Present perfect or past simple? Well, she says here, I can't find it anywhere, right? Which means it's still lost. So that's an action that's still relevant to the present. All right, because the credit card is lost and she hasn't found it yet. So the answer should be, I've lost my credit card. Number 4, The department store sale has started or started last week. It's been really popular with shoppers. Which one do we use here? Well, if you look here, it says last week. All right, that looks like a detail saying when. All right, also last week is finished. Okay, so that means the answer should be past simple, right? The department store sale started last week. Let's look at number 5. Have you sold or did you sell many of those bags yesterday? Okay, present perfect or past simple. Again, here it says yesterday, right? Yesterday is finished, right? It's giving us details. So it should be past simple. Did you sell many of those bags yesterday? Okay. And let's look at sentence number 6. Is that jacket new? Is that jacket new? It says, no, I had it for years or I have had it for years. Now, this one, do we use past simple or present perfect? Well, the person says, is that jacket new? So that means they're wearing the jacket now. They have the jacket now. Okay. So it's relevant to the present. Also, it says 4 years, right? So it gives a duration. Now, if you give a duration of something, of an activity, normally we use that with present perfect, right? I've played basketball for 10 years, for example. All right, so is that jacket new? And yeah, it should be present perfect. I have had it for years. All right, good. Everybody get all the answers? Fantastic, every time. Okay, good. So let's continue, okay? Practice makes perfect. So now we have some prompts and we have to decide what tense to put the verbs in, okay? So we're going to make one using the present perfect. So each question has 2 sentences, okay? And one uses the present perfect and the other uses the past simple. Okay, so we have to decide which one is which. So ideally, there would be one sentence giving the main news, the main information, which would be in present perfect, and then another sentence with the details in past simple. Okay. So we'll look at the example. All right. It says, "I have spent my money." Okay, so something happened recently. No details. "I bought a pair of shoes." Okay, so that action, right, was giving more details following on from the first action. All right. So here is present perfect, and this one will be past simple. Okay, let's continue the exercise. All right. So let's look at sentence number 2. Okay. So the boys walk into town. They leave at 2:00. Okay. Well, the first part of the phrase, okay, is reporting the main news, okay, without any details. So we would use that in present perfect, okay? So we would say, the boys have walked into town. And then here, the second sentence, it gives you the time that they left, right? So this is details. So that would be in past simple. So the second sentence should be, they left at 2:00, all right? The boys have walked into town. They left at 2:00. All right, let's try the next one. All right, so I get my mum a present for her birthday. I paid £10 for it. Okay. See if you can do this on your own. Okay, you can pause the video. All right. Good. So let's have a look. The answer. I've got my mom a present for her birthday. Okay, so that's the main news. Okay, just talking about the action, the recent action that's still relevant to the present. Okay, and then the details in past simple. I paid €10 for it. Only €10 for a present for his mother. I think you should spend more money. Anyway, let's continue. He not like his old flat. eaten in 3 different flats this year. Okay, so this one's a little bit different. Okay, see if you can do it on your own. Did you get the answer? Okay, so one is in past simple, one is in present perfect. Okay, the answer should be this. He didn't like his old flat. Okay, so that's an action in the past that's finished. He has lived in 3 different flats this year. Okay, so this is recent actions, and this year, okay, the time period here is not finished. Okay, so it's still relevant to the present. All right, so the first sentence is in past simple. All right, a finished action in the past, and the second sentence is in present perfect. Okay, because it's still relevant in the present. Also, there's no details. Right. Number 5. She lose an earring, drop in the street. Okay. So, again, try yourself. All right. Pause the video if you need to. And let's look at the answer. Okay. She has lost an earring. Okay. So that's the main bit of news. And then the details, she dropped it in the street. Okay. Let's have a look at the next one. It's a negative. I not wear these boots before. My old ones would be very comfortable. Okay. So, which one is relevant to the present? Okay. That would be the first sentence, right? So it should be, I haven't worn these boots before. Okay, so she's got boots on, okay, but she hasn't worn them before. It's something that's relevant to the present. Okay. And then it says, my old ones, and it should be in past simple. My old ones were very comfortable. Okay, because that's something that's finished in the past. She doesn't have her old boots anymore. Okay. So the answer should be, I haven't worn these boots before. My old ones were very comfortable. Okay. News, details. All right. Let's have a look how we did. Perfect, as always. Very good. Okay, are you getting the hang of it? Okay. Well, we'll do one more exercise together, and then I'll leave you to do things on your own. Okay? So let's have a look at exercise 3. So now we have a text, and we just have to choose the correct form of the verb in brackets to complete it. All right? So on your own, you can try this, okay? Read through the text, and when you get to a verb, when you get to a space, look at the verb and put it in either past simple or present perfect, okay? Pause the video while you do this. Have you finished? Fantastic. Let's look at our answers. Now, the first one is ever, right? So we only use the word ever with present perfect, all right, when we're making questions. Have you ever? Have you ever made your own clothes, perhaps with your mum, grandma, or at school? Now here, okay, the sentence, start to design my own clothes when I was 13. All right, that's a finished action in the past and it's giving us details. So it should be, I started to design my own clothes when I was 13. At first, I looked at lots of different fashion magazines to see what people were wearing. But quite quickly, I decided to try to make my own designs. When I told my parents that I wanted to be a designer, they thought it was a great idea, and they helped me to make my dream come true. I began making my own clothes in 2015, and I have learnt a lot in the last few years. Okay, so that's an action that's recent that relevant to the present, which is why it's in present perfect. All right, he's learned a lot in the last few years, and he still knows all of the things. Last year, I met some other young clothes designers. We shared a lot of ideas together online, and now we are planning to have a pop-up shop near the beach next summer. All right, good. Now, if you notice, right, in the text, right, most of the verbs, right, most of the things we say are in past simple. There's only a couple of sentences that are using the present perfect. Okay, Because most of these things are actions that happen in the past and are finished, right? And he's just giving details about something. All right. The only ones that are in present perfect is the first one, where he's asking a question, okay, with have you ever? So he's asking about an experience. And this one, okay, because it's an action that started in the past, but it's still relevant in the present because he has learned a lot in the last few years, okay, but he's still using this knowledge, okay. He's still learning. The action is still continuing. All right, so that's this exercise, okay. How do we do? Of course, 100% every time. Good. Okay. So what I'd like you to do now is get a little bit more practice. All right. So we've got a few exercises in the workbook to do. All right. And I'll leave you to do these on your own. If you go to the workbook, it should be on page 47. Okay. So this section here, Unit 6, Grammar 2, Present Perfect and Past Simple. Okay. And we have 2 exercises to do. Okay. So the first exercise is complete the sentences with past simple or present perfect. Okay. So for each sort of bit of information, okay, have a look if it's an action that's relevant to the present. Okay, if it gives details. All right, and then you decide if it's present perfect or past simple. Okay. Pause the video if you need time to do the exercise. Have you finished? Fantastic. Let's look at our answers. Okay. So, number 1, Mary has been to Paris 5 times. The last time she bought me this jacket. Good. Ella got the dress last year, but she hasn't worn it very often. Next one, number 3. Did Richard go to the shops this morning? I haven't heard from him all day. Number 4. We opened the shop last year and we have sold a lot of t-shirts. All right. And number 5. I've seen so many people wearing his t-shirts. I think they got them at the concert last week. Okay. Check your answers and correct. All right. Now, don't worry if you're having trouble. All right. It does take time to get the hang of it. All right. So if it's difficult, don't worry. Okay. We just keep practicing until we get it. All right. How do we do? Again, 100%. God, you guys are incredible. All right. And now you can try exercise number 2. All right. So this is a conversation. All right. And again, right, decide if it's present perfect or past simple. All right. Let's have a look. Okay, so remember, if it's giving details normally, and if it's a finished action in the past, when the time period is finished, all right, then normally it's past simple. If it's some news that's relevant to the present, okay, then it'll be present perfect. Okay. Let's have a look. Now you can pause the video while you do the exercise. Okay. Finished? Let's look at our answers. Okay. Mitchell, I really like your new t-shirt. Where did you get it? Okay, past simple. Because you got it in the past. It's a finished action. Ella says, I bought it last week, okay, the details, at Vintage, the new shop on West Street. And Mitchell says, I haven't been there. What's it like? Okay, now this is present perfect, okay, because it's something that's relevant to the present. He hasn't been there, right? And he's still at this moment hasn't been there, okay? Not in the past and not now. What's it like? Ella says, it opened 2 weeks ago. Yeah, past simple. The time period, 2 weeks ago. And it's really cool. And then Mitchell says, have you bought anything else there since then? Okay. It's present perfect because he says since then. So that's from going from the past up until now. Okay. So that's why it's present perfect. And Ella says, no, I haven't. I have been really busy this week. Okay. Present perfect because this week is still happening. Okay. The action is still continuing. I've been really busy this week with the school magazine, and I haven't had much time to go shopping. Okay, again, we're still talking about a time period that hasn't finished this week. So something starting in the past and continuing now in the present. Okay, good. Did you get all the answers? Of course you did. Brilliant. Okay, good. Well, hopefully now you understand and can differentiate between the two tenses a little bit better. All right. Now another good way to practice this is to do your own sort of short writings. All right. So the last thing I want you to do, all right, kind of like for homework, all right, is we go back to our notebooks, and okay, what I want you to do is give make your own example of sort of like a little anecdote like this. Okay, so just like I've done here, give a bit of news in the present perfect and then give details in past simple. All right, just like mine. Right, I've seen the new Avengers movie. All right, so the news and then the details. It was amazing. I saw it yesterday at cinema with my brother. All right, so this is your task. I'll say make your own anecdote. Okay, so that's like just a very little short story. Okay, and then I want you to give the main news using present perfect, and then give the details in past simple. Okay, so I'll just put that here. I'll put that in bold. All right. Okay, so make your own anecdote, right? Just like my example here, right? Give the main news using present perfect and then the details in past simple, okay? It only has to be 2 or 3 sentences, okay? Just like if you saw your friend, okay, in the street and you're going to give him some news about something that happened recently, okay? So yes, right? So try and do it. Again, use my examples as a reference, okay? And remember, you can make positive and negative sentences, right? You can be experimental. All right. So when you finish this, you can take a picture and you can send it to the email or by WhatsApp. All right. And we can check it. And then also if you have any questions, okay? But like I said, it is complicated to differentiate between present perfect and past simple. All right. So don't worry if it's a little bit difficult. All right. As with everything, we'll continue to practice as the classes go on. All right. But yes. So we can finish for today. All right. I hope everybody's good. And yeah, stay safe, stay clean, stay at home, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Bye-bye.